Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while, 119 days to be exact. A lot of you have been sending me messages and emails asking where I am. So I'm going to tell you everything that's happened in the last 119 days, what we've been up to, what's been happening here, because there's been lots. In the last video, we were deep in lawn season. We had tons of stuff here for repair, stuff for sale. We are completely sold out of lawn equipment, and we are in a couple leftover tillers, but we are heading into snowblower season. So we've got snowblowers out on display here. This is a Cub Cadet electric tractor that actually my kids use it, and we just pull a wagon around with it and do chores with it, do chickens. Actually works really well. Oh, there's Tony. You're gonna hear a story about him. Sometime in May, Tony disappeared for 2 days. We found him under that grain silo, near death. So he was attacked by a coyote and somehow escaped. You can't see it now, but he was grabbed from the top. He was punctured and he was in really bad shape. But the vets got him all fixed up and he's still with us. That was one of the many things that happened. Got a few lawnmowers waiting for parts. Kubota zero turn, Craftsman, waiting for parts from the US actually, because we're having a problem getting parts here in Canada for it. A couple John Deeres waiting for parts. But you can see this area. If you've seen the last videos, this was all full of lawnmowers. Some of them are back there now, but well, let's head back in the shop and see what's going on. Okay, so to start off, we have a Stihl 261. The saw was sold new 2 weeks ago. The customer's having a hard time starting it, so we're going to have to look into that. We have a Stihl 500 MS500i. Looks like it's had a rough life. 391 that won't start. A 362 that has no power when it's hot. A 271 that's here for a tune-up and a chain sharpen. A 201 that belongs to Hydro. Don't know why it's here. And a 261 that won't start. Let's go to the front of the line. Let's start with this new 261 and see what the problem is. I'll see you over at the bench. So it's been 119 days since you last see me at this bench. We've had a very busy service season, the busiest season we've had yet. Sold lots of new stuff, serviced probably 400 to 500 ride-on mowers, plus hundreds of chainsaws and trimmers and push mowers and generators. We lost one of our young techs early in June as he went to explore other opportunities. So we were left short-handed on little notice, so that didn't help. For the last 5 years, we've always had a dry spell come July, August. This year we didn't have a dry spell. It rained and the grass did not stop growing. And on top of this, we have children who are home for the summer. We live in an 1800s farmhouse that is under renovation. We spent part of the busy season without a kitchen and without a laundry room, so that didn't help things. And as a cherry on top of all that, add in some family drama. Let's get into details about that. Actually, let's not. Let's get down to business. So we have this Stihl MS261. We sold this saw brand new not very long ago. The customer came back with it and said he started it a few times, ran it for a few minutes, and that he is unable to start it. So this is an M-tronic chainsaw. So this saw can plug into my computer system and give me a bit of information. So this saw has successfully started 5 times. 2 of those would have been here when we PDI'd it. So the customer successfully started this saw 3 times. And the saw has a total operating time of 20 minutes and 53 seconds. The software used to tell us the max RPM the saw had reached and how many unsuccessful starts, but for some reason it's not giving us that data anymore. So he said the saw won't start and that when he does pull it over, it makes a noise. So we're going to pull it over and see the noise he's talking about. Let's go over to the door. Well, that's an interesting sound. Sounds like somebody's in there knocking, trying to get out. It sounds internal, but we're going to do some external checks before we dig into this thing. Let's take a look. He had said that he cut a couple branches with it. I can see that it's cut a little something. The chain is still just like new. The overall physical condition of the saw, like it doesn't look like it was dropped or, fell out of the truck or anything. It looks just like it left here. Let's take the bar and chain off of this. Let's check to make sure this isn't a broken clutch before we go too far. The clutch springs all look fine. The shoes all look fine. This is not a clutch issue. Okay, let's have a quick look at the fuel and then we'll start digging into this. It smells good. It looks good. Okay, let's take the top cover off and have a look. I've been buried in paperwork for the last 3 months, so I'm a little rusty on the workbench. That's what a brand new chainsaw looks like. Let's pull the recoil off and check that the flywheel isn't loose. T27, 4 of them. The flywheel feels tight and looks tight. This doesn't feel right or sound right. Something's internally wrong here. Well, let's dig deeper and find out. Let's pull the spark plug out. Looks good. Something I'm noticing here is a little bit of orange on the cylinder. And then if I grab the cover here, there's the marks of the cylinder. That's strange. Well, let's keep digging. The cylinder and the top cover should not be touching. That shouldn't happen. Just look at the top cover here. It doesn't look like it's not damaged or cracked or bent. Very strange. I don't don't know if we're going to find this saw was assembled incorrectly or what we're going to find here. Let's take a look down the spark plug hole at the piston and cylinder and see what we can see. Here's the piston and cylinder, and you're seeing metal fragments everywhere. Any scoring on the cylinder would be from those metal fragments. Let's pull the muffler off this saw. T27s, 4 of them. Everything looks good in there. We're going to pull the carb off this saw, and then we're going to do a pressure vac test. For warranty, I have to do a pressure vac test, so we'll go ahead and get that done now. Just learn from my mistakes. Remove the gas cap first to release the pressure before taking the carb off, and you won't get sprayed with fuel. Okay, we're all hooked up here. Test vacuum. Go to 0.5 bar. That's a pass. Now we'll move the gauge to pressure. That is a pass as well. The saw has no leaks. Something kind of strange here I noticed is this is not attached properly. So the flywheel's been removed. The clutch has been removed. I don't like that sound. Let's keep digging. Get that handle out of the way. Move the throttle rod. Remove the fuel line. Let's remove the 4 cylinder bolts, T27. Okay, we're finally going to remove this cylinder and find out who's knocking to get out. Let's have a look here. I want you to be able to see in here as well. Looks like the lower rod bearing grenaded. It's not good. That's what all that noise was. I wonder what caused this problem. So when I look at this, like, there's no dirt in the intake. That's clean. If this saw had been straight gassed, you would expect to see damage on the piston and in the cylinder. The saw only has 20 minutes of runtime in its life. So, looks to me like a manufacturing defect. So there are metal filings everywhere. I think the proper procedure here to fix this saw would be new piston, new cylinder, new crankshaft. But I'll see what Stihl has to say. I'll get a hold of them this week and see if we can get this saw fixed back up. So here's our 261 in pieces. I've seen this before, but not on a saw with 20 minutes of runtime. So this is interesting. So we'll get a hold of Stihl this week and see what they want us to do with it. And I'll let you guys know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.